Jeff and Jeremy. It's like a radiogasm.
I said, hey, babe, check it out on the podcast.
Apple Podcast, Google Podcast,
and Spotify.
All this is going viral.
Okay, here we go. Good morning. Finally got that sun yesterday, a little bit after I told you it was going to happen, but it happened.
That's okay. It's not an exact science. That's why weathermen all over the world are hated. Just be happy you're not a weatherman, I guess.
I got to tell you the story, okay? And I will leave names out of it. And I kind of told you this a little bit yesterday. It's pretty funny. A friend of ours came up from L.A. visiting. We went out to get some food. And, of course, no restaurants take reservations around here. So there was like a really long wait. So we ended up going to this bar next door to this restaurant. And we're going to kick back some drinks until the table was ready. They had my phone number. They were going to call me. And so we're sitting there and we're drinking and stuff. And then these people from the Valley show up. And they want to bring their party in. Well, it's a small bar, and there was only so many tables available. And, you know, because of COVID, you can only have so much people in your business, right? What is it, 25% or something?
Yeah, there's a capacity limit. I would think that the place, like, you know, that is a tourism mecca.
Yeah.
Especially for people that come over from the Valley, and they come over here a lot on the weekends, that, you know, if I owned a restaurant, and it was in a tourism area like this, I would be watching my P's and Q's when it comes to that capacity. Because at any point in time, who comes in and tells you not to do it? I don't know, but I don't want
undercover, like a sting, like they do with kids buying cigarettes.
I don't want to have that discussion.
Yeah.
You know.
So anyways, and I'll tell you, this happened in Pismo. So it's not like it's super crazy. You know, it's not like it's downtown slow, but so it's a little bar. And so we went in there, and we've been in there for at least 30 minutes or so, and we're drinking and we're talking to the bartender there. And then these people come in, and the first thing the woman does with the jorts on, she comes in with jorts, sandals, really big sunglasses, and some like drag racing t-shirt on. And she's carrying a clear plastic cup that's about half full of red wine. She brings this into the bar. And she sits down. She goes, hey, we got 6. He goes, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. We could only do 4. We're at capacity at 4.
Do you think that he flexed he used COVID as an excuse to not have to
serve drunk people? Listen, you moron. I don't know where you think you are. This isn't Vegas. You can't just walk into a bar with your own wine and sit down. I mean, it was purple. I mean,
they're on vacation.
I'm pretty sure.
They're on vacation.
They're on vacation, right? So anyway.
Shut up, it's Welch's.
So she's like, oh, I see how it is.
You have a problem with it, talk to Larry King.
Well, you can't do that
Can't anymore, huh?
But, so she gets mad and, you know, she starts getting a little lippy he's like, ma'am, I can't do anything about it. We are at occupancy. She goes, so you can only have so many people in here, and are you counted as one of those people? And he said, yes. And I don't know if that's true or not. I'm pretty sure it would be. So anyways, they walk out, and then we continue on, and, you know, we're talking and so on. And then all of a sudden her fat husband shows up. And I mean, this guy is like pretty big guy, and he's got another drag racing t-shirt on, and nothing against the drag racing crowd, but you know, these two were just already raced. They'd run the strip, if you know what I mean. So then he shows up, and he's like, hey, why you gotta talk to my wife that way? It's trashy. This place is a dump anyways. It's a really nice place. And I'm like, I turn around. I'm like, he didn't say anything to your wife at all. He just said that they could only allow 4. They couldn't let your whole party. Oh, that's a bunch. Blah, blah, blah. And he walks out the door.
He was talking fishing talk?
Yeah, he started doing the fishing talk. And then he turns around and he walks out, and then on the.
You can kiss my ass.
And by the way, nobody's wearing a damn mask, right? Nobody
of course not.
At this place is wearing a mask. And I mean, you know, to be fair, I was at the bar. We weren't wearing a mask either, but we could take it off because we were drinking and snacking. Anyways, and then he walks out, and then there's a big sign on the door that says you got to wear a mask. He rips it off and throws it on the ground, and they walk off.
Classy.
And then
and this goes back to the whole thing that I've always talked about. Never send your food back. Never complain. Never do any of that stuff in a restaurant setting. Especially if you're like mad because your wife that was drinking wine from a clear cup was not allowed to bring her party of 6 in when there was only capacity for 4. You don't raise a stink about it because you think that's going to get you a table any quicker? No, you moron.
Maybe leave your wine, pound it and throw it in the can or the trash away, because I think that was one of the reasons. I don't think he was. I don't think this person was excited to serve
You know
these
what
people.
Suzanne would say? Do better.
Yeah, do better. Right? You're gonna get her a shirt.
Just do better.
So, anyways,
do better, Valley.
So there's one other table in there, and there's 2 younger ladies. I don't know if they're younger. They're maybe in their early 40s, late 30s.
Well, you refer to them as ladies, so
yeah. And so they're
not much younger.
They were a couple of chicks, and so we kind of they say something to us, and we say, and our buddy Ken that's visiting, he's very outspoken, and he likes to talk to everybody, especially after he's had a few drinks. And so he's like, "Hey, can you believe that? I mean, I'm from Los Angeles. Nobody acts like that down there." I'm like, "Oh God, here we go."
Los Angeles guy.
So, long story short, our table gets ready. We settle up
Doesn't
there.
everybody have to tell everybody where they're from?
Oh, yeah. Where? And then, of course, where at? And well, let me just say these broads. These were fairly attractive.
Broads.
He's a single guy.
Broads now. You've called them chicks. You've called them ladies, and you call them broads.
My wife's with me, and then it's me, and then it's Ken who's single, and he's chatting them up, and they're attractive, so whatever. So then we end up finding out we're all going to the same restaurant. So we get to the same restaurant, and we have our dinner, and he's like, he brings them up a couple of times. He's like, "Hey, do you think those?" I go, "Those girls don't want anything to do with you," because Ken is. He's older than us. I mean, he's old enough to be our parents' age, isn't he?
Yeah, but he held his looks, man. He's a young-looking guy.
Yeah, he's in his mid.
He really is.
It was his mid-60s, I think. So, anyways, he ends up finding him at the restaurant and then bringing him over to the table.
Ken looks younger than I do sometimes.
Maybe the same age. Yeah, sometimes you get a weathered look to you.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I like the last 2 weeks, spring break, man. Come on.
So
Don't do it.
then he brings him over to the table, and everybody, we've all been drinking good now, and so everybody's friendly, and we're all talking. And I'm like, gosh, they're just being really nice, and he really likes this one gal. Well, come to find out, she's married, and I'm like, "Hey, she's married. What are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm just making friends. I'm just making friends." And then he gets her phone number and becomes her friend on Facebook.
Ooh, married lady given a phone number.
I don't know how he got it.
Married broad.
I don't know. Maybe there was some circumstances to getting this phone number. I don't really know. My wife also got her phone number for another reason. Oh God, this sounds terrible.
Swingers.
I don't want to out any of these people.
Swingers.
But no, my wife had a professional question for her about what she did for a living.
Maybe Big City Ken did too.
So anyways, the next morning we get up, and of course we're feeling it because we had way too much fun the night before. And he goes, I text her.
You guys have a competition between the 3 of you who could get the most phone numbers? Come on.
I text her.
How many numbers you get there? Big
0.
boy?
I got 0. And she texted me last night, and she says, don't ever text this number. But then this morning I wake up, this is Ken. He's like, she said, just kidding. It was nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And he says, now we're friends on Facebook. I went, oh, wow, good for you.
Weird.
Well, come to find out,
Weird.
this woman.
Don't give too many details because you're going to get yourself in trouble.
See, how am I going to get in trouble?
Well, yeah, you didn't do anything wrong, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying you're dealing
I'm not
with
trying to get anybody in
personal
trouble.
lives here.
But I'll tell you this woman is married to a
No,
famous person.
No. Too much. You said too much.
That's all I'm going to say.
You said too much.
A famous person. That's it. They happen to live here.
Okay, now you're saying too much because how many famous people live here?
More than you probably realize. I didn't know this person lived here. Did you? I did not know that. Did you know the person she's married to?
I'm told I'm the one that tipped you off.
Well, yeah, but
yes, I think so.
But you already knew that person lived here?
Yes.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. So, anyways, yeah, I'm like, yeah, trust me, and she's like my age, and she's not gonna be interested in you, old guy from Chatsworth.
That holds his looks pretty well, actually.
But does hold his looks pretty well because she's married to a very successful famous person.
Okay, enough.
Who has
Like,
a lot
what's
of
your
money.
point? What is your point here? Just to try to get in trouble? Like, I want to know what the point to the story is.
I just think it's really funny when I found out who this person is married to and the fact that he thought he had a shot with her.
Did he know? I mean, they're friends on Facebook.
I mean, I talked to him about it yesterday. I said, hey, do you know who this is? And he's like, I'm like, yeah, so-and-so. And he's like, oh. No, he didn't know. He had a lot of flatliners. Oh, God.
Why would you ask a married person for their phone number?
I don't know.
Unless it was a professional question in the case of your wife.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to call and ask him?
No.
Okay.
No, that's the last thing I want to do.
Anyways, that was you.
Are you kidding me?
And you were supposed to be there.
I'm not getting tangled up.
You were invited to be there at this dinner, and you couldn't do it because you had other family obligations, which I'm sure you. I don't know if you feel like you missed out now that you heard the story, or if you're glad you were able to stay home with your family. But
I was happy.
Wild night.
I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of your swinging lifestyle. Everybody's getting numbers around. I mean, where do you guys put the keys in the middle at the end of the night?
In the bowl.
In the bowl. Okay.
Whoa! Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Jeff and Jeremy here online at KZOZ.com. Don't forget, we're giving away $25 to go to Pappy McGregor's or 1122 Speakeasy up in Paso Robles every day, 940 Know the Show, and it's yours.
So earlier you were talking about your friend, Big City Ken, coming into town like a horny sailor on shore leave. Asking girls for their numbers no matter what size what size the wedding ring
It's probably
was.
easier just to talk to people here than it is down in Los Angeles. I mean, there's just so many people and so many different
Yes,
weirdos.
it's easier
People
to
are more
talk to
friendly
people on
up here.
vacation. It's totally easier to talk to people on vacation than it is to talk to people within your community. I mean, because then you don't have to worry about them knowing somebody else. So you could probably be yourself a little bit more. And I'm a staunch believer, and that's why Big City Ken comes up here, is just because it's a just far enough away to where it's an affordable vacation, and he's got.
I don't think his life is that exciting.
Couch he can sleep on.
He lives, with his daughter. They live together. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's great. She's awesome. She's really cool, and she's probably helping her dad out, and he's probably helping her out. So
yeah.
But I mean, I don't think he has a
do.
real exciting life. I mean, he works out of his house, so he likes to get out and do things.
When I wasn't going to college and I had friends in college, you kidding me? I love going to party at my friend's college. I like partying at my friend's college. The problem was when I went to college, they returned the favor. That was the worst.
I don't know how we did that. It was every night, man.
My childhood friends went to college before I did. I took some years off. And then I would go over there and not care about anything that I did. Oh my God. I was like, dude, I don't know any of these people. And they're like, they would always get on me. Dude, we're neighbors with that person. What are you doing? I have a class with that person. What are you doing? I was like, big deal.
I remember.
Then they came to school. It was the same thing. That's what Big City Ken does. But you referred to women that he was talking to as ladies, broads, and chicks.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a reason for that. And here's the reason. When we were on our trip down in Cabo, we were walking from the bar area by the pool. This kid comes out, and he had a big sombrero that was painted crimson and white, and it said "Go Cougs" on it. It had the WSU logo on it, where we went to school. And so my wife, whenever we see anything Cougar, you always say "Go Cougs." And the kid looked up, and he's like, "Yeah, go Cougs." And he says, and we walked past, and he said to his mom, he goes, "Hey, Mom, that lady back there said "Go Cougs" to me." And I just started laughing. And she's like, "What's so funny?" I go, "Because he called you a lady, like you're some old lady." Like, I mean, we're 40, in our mid 40s, but she didn't like that. And I think my wife looks younger than she actually is too. She's pretty youthful. So I said, "Yeah, you don't want to be called lady. I mean, if you would have said that woman or something, or that chick or that broad or whatever, but he called you a lady." And so she's gotten all worked up about it. So we get up to the room, and my cousins are up there, and I said to my cousin, who's her best friend, I said, "Hey, Angie, would you rather be called a woman or a lady?" And she says, "Oh my God, a woman. Lady's old." And then she got really mad. Sorry, it looks like you're a lady. You refer to somebody who's elderly as a lady, right? You don't call him a woman. I mean, you could call him a woman.
No, that nice old lady.
Yeah,
that nice. That's where
Do you
the
say
lady
nice old woman?
That's where it gets pulled into the mix. Like you never say that nice old woman. You always say that nice old lady as a term of endearment. but lady is then reserved for. But then what about bars with like, they don't do this anymore, probably because of Me Too and all that stuff. But ladies' night. Remember when bars used to do ladies' night and they would give, they would give the ladies, alcohol for a cheap, a cheap rate. And then.
Maybe 2 for 1 for the girls or.
Yeah.
Whatever, full price for the guys. The girls get in free or whatever.
So we're asking you on the poll question, which do you prefer? It's women only today, or ladies only, or broads only, or chicks only, or girls only. Which do you prefer to be called? Lady, woman, girl, chick, or broad?
Lady, girl, chick, or broad?
Which one do you think's going to come in last?
Broad.
Yeah, broad's kind of derogatory. But I think girl is going to come in
number 1,
resoundingly number 1,
because it's more youthful. Well, there's going to be some guys that are going to vote on this, but really, it should be the women, right? We want to know if we refer to you as a lady, a chick, a broad, a woman. What would you like to be called? It's our Surfnet Communications poll question at KZOZ.com.